My garbage people for this week, I guess if you had to define it as one person, would be Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, for how the House has devolved into just another tool in MAGA's war on free speech. Now, it started, the most recent battle, when this happened. Representative Al Green, as I'm sure you know, was removed from the chamber after shouting at Trump during his speech. But that was just the first blow of this war. So they drag Al Green out because how dare you wave a cane. Then they censured him for heckling Donald Trump. Apparently they take censuring seriously now, I guess. I'll reference some of the old stuff before. But anyway, so that's Mike Johnson, that's the Republicans. It's also, though, let's be fair, 10 Democrats who joined on to this. So they've gone from not doing anything as Trump runs roughshod over our country to now kind of collaborating with them a little bit. And by the way, I think Al Green probably eventually did need to leave. Like they were gonna drag him out if he didn't stop yelling or whatever. But like, you don't have to be a part of his censuring. They can do it on their own if they really want to. So Mike Johnson, Republicans, Democrats in the wrong there. But even that wasn't enough. And we get to the real reason that he's my garbage person. So they're doing the censuring. And as Johnson is reading out the resolution, dozens of House Democrats, primarily Black Caucus members and progressives, stood in the well of the House singing, "We shall overcome." Johnson repeatedly banged the gavel and said the House will come to order before putting the House in recess until the disruption subsided. And so, well, what's so bad about that? Well, because Al Green being punished is not enough for them. They want to go further. And so as a result, House Republican Andy Ogles plots to kick dozens of Democrats off of their committees because of what we just read for you. They're singing. They sang, "We shall overcome," as the Republicans got what they wanted, which is censuring Al Green, even bipartisan, they got some Democrats on their side. It's not enough. We need to kick dozens of them off their committees because they sang a song. And in this case, it's gonna be weird, prepare yourself. Hakeem Jeffries actually had a pretty good response to it when asked about it. He said, "You ain't throwing no one off any single committee. These people are malignant clowns. Don't make me expose you to folks that don't know you." So that's good. So he's gonna fight it and he says it's not gonna go anywhere, but we'll see. They did censure Al Green. Will they potentially take dozens of people off of their committees? I don't know. But I do want to just remind everyone that this sudden reverence for decorum and the need to control yourself is definitely new, if it exists at all, for the Republicans. Because not only do they think that Marjorie Greene or Lauren Boebert, when they were hooting and hollering with Joe Biden, they didn't think that was an issue. They didn't need to be dragged out. They didn't need to be censured. They didn't need to be taken off their committees for that. But I'll remind you all, Marjorie Greene was taken off of her committees. Do you remember that? Do you remember why they did that? They did that when it came out that she had for years been up to the most insane, violent nonsense online with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, but also threats to murder elected officials. And thinking it's awesome when people are like, Nancy Pelosi should have a bullet in her skull. And she's like, that's great, I love it, thumbs up. And so they took her off of her committees for that. And I want to let you know that when they did that, yes, it succeeded. Do you know how many Republicans signed on to it? 11. Only 11. Only one more than signed on to the Al Green thing. And Al Green didn't say Donald Trump needs a bullet in his head, did he? And so 199 Republicans said that that was not a good enough reason to take her off of our committees. But soon they might say that singing "We Shall Overcome" is a good enough reason. And I really wanted to be able to say that like Andy Ogles in particular was super hypocritical in this, but unfortunately he hadn't yet been elected to the House of Representatives. I have no doubt that had he been, he would have voted to not take her off. But unfortunately he didn't get elected until 2 years later, so we'll never know. But anyway, that is my garbage person. Mike Johnson, Andy Ogles, Republicans in general, and those 10 Democrats, utter garbage. Al Green at least did something. It's not much. It hasn't won the battle or anything, but you guys have just lost your minds over the fact that a man briefly interrupted Donald Trump's 100-minute speech. And don't tell me that it didn't deserve to be interrupted. Like just to mix up the flow a little bit, the pacing. 100 minutes, it needs some heckling just to make it watchable. Anyway, with that said, oh my God. I don't think I've ever seen a garbage person poll as lopsided as this. This is one for the history books. 65,000 of you voted, which is a lot. And here's your top 4. Coming at number 4 with 1% of the vote is Joe Rogan for spreading the Trump assassination conspiracy. Coming in at number 3 with 2% of the vote is Mike Johnson for claiming that anti-doggy protesters are paid. Coming at number 2 with 4% of the vote is Ben Shapiro for advocating for the pardoning of Derek Chauvin. All those are bad, but you guys were not hearing it. 92% of you voted for Donald Trump and JD Vance to be the garbage people of the week for ambushing Zelensky and rewriting history about Ukraine and Russia. Now, see, Donald Trump, that's what a landslide looks like. That's a mandate for you to be a garbage person. That's the voice of the people being very clear, not winning by 1.5 percentage points or whatever. God damn, congratulations to King and Vice King garbage, Donald Trump and JD Vance. But we wanted to mix things up a little bit. So in addition to doing garbage people of the week, producer Sam noticed that people were saying they want something more positive. And so we did a poll for the hero of the week. And I feel like you can probably guess considering what the vote was on the garbage people, but we're gonna try to continue this for a bit in honor of producer Sam, who today is their final day. But here is 83,000 who voted. More people voted for the hero of the week than the garbage people. I did not think that's the way it was gonna go, so I have a little bit more faith in humanity. But coming in at number 4 with 4% of the vote is AOC for organizing Democrats to resist MAGA lawmakers. That's good. Coming in at number 3 with 9% of the vote, Jasmine Crockett for consistently calling out the GOP and Trump, in particular saying that Trump needs to stop being Putin's hoe. That's very funny. Your runner-up with 10% of the vote is Bernie Sanders for his anti-oligarchy national tour. But again, the voice of the people being heard loud and clear. 78% of you want Zelensky to be the hero of the week for standing up to Donald Trump and Vance's bullying. And by the way, not only did he get 78% of the vote in that poll, but his approval rating in Ukraine has apparently skyrocketed. Depending on which poll you look at, it's now close to 70% because they see him as standing up against the insane bullying, not only of JD Vance and Donald Trump, but also obviously Putin as well. And so thank you to everybody who voted for garbage person of the week, hero of the week as well, maybe dragon of the week. We'll work on the naming or whatever, but thank you to everybody for voting. We do appreciate it.